Stephen. Nice of you to join us. I believe I've seen you before here. Is that correct? I'm just waiting here for a couple more people to join us, and then shortly I will begin my presentation. And of course, this will be the last one from us here at Scuba.Digital. But so far, it's been quite enjoyable. And honestly, we didn't expect so much response. But it's nice to know that people are watching us. And hi. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. So you're here for seconds. Where are you from, Stephen? Is it Stephen or Stefan? I'm not sure. And yeah, if you like, feel free to share your audio and video. If you're not too shy, we love to see people in person, of course, as well. In the meantime, I'll just wait for a few more people to pop in. I believe that Simone is on her way as well. Ah, okay, gotcha. UK, nice. I hope you're doing okay over there. Europe is going a little bit crazy with the coronavirus. It's a little bit disconcerting to see all those numbers going up. Hi, Simone. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
We have Stephen from the UK here.
Hi, Stephen.
And yeah, we'll just give it a couple more minutes to allow people to find us and pop into the booth, or rather the session. And it's sunset here.
Yep.
I don't know if you can see that.
Getting there.
Isn't that nice?
Very nice.
So,
hi, Stephen. So I think you already told Stephen that he can chat any questions he might have.
No, I encourage Stephen to join us on video, but oh, you just missed the sunrise. Well, let me show you again, Stephen. Nice dramatic sky.
I think.
Oh, we just missed the sunrise there. Anyway, oh, I'm a little bit dark. I just need to turn my chair a little bit. I was trying to find a bit more of a flattering angle, but it's a bit difficult.
Flattering angle.
Flattering angle, so I'm just...
Well, that's an open goal. I can make a really nasty remark from that.
That would be open door.
Yeah.
I know. Well, yeah, how do we entertain ourselves while we wait for people to come in? It's pretty warm, isn't it, Simone?
It is. It is no wind, no wind.
Yeah,
and
the weather has been very favorable for the last few days. Really nice, very bright and sunny, especially the mornings, very crisp.
Yeah, in the evenings it's a little bit cloudy, but I think we will have a very, very beautiful sun.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I think, okay, I think I will move out. I'm going outside.
All right.
Oh, much better.
Hello, Julian. Welcome to our session. Nice of you to join us. Underwater videographer. Wow, cool.
Have you been in this area already, Julian? Because especially the Lembes Strait is very, very famous for videographers and photographers.
If you open the session chat, he writes, "Hi guys, never been there." Well, then I consider it an honor to tell you all about it. So give me 2 more minutes and then we will start.
And where are you from? And Mike and Samantha. Hi guys, nice of you to join us just in time for the presentation to start.
Hiya.
And where are you guys from? And Julian, where are you from?
And Mike and Samantha are off the sea, as they say in their profile.
Off the sea.
They're off the sea.
Off to sea.
No, off the sea. They are made of the sea, like just like that. Off the sea.
So they're a merman and a mermaid.
Maybe. Well, it looks like it could be in the last name as well. Muir?
Okay, you have been to Manado many times. And you're from Argentina, but living in Spain. Nice to see you guys. It's nice to have Europeans on the booth, actually.
Yep, and since this is the last session that we're doing here at Scuba.Digital, it's I'm happy to have you guys here with us. And let me start by sharing my screen. And
okay, so,
everyone.
Yep. So Arjen is going to do the presentation, and during the presentation, if you have any questions, just type them down. I am not going to answer because that would disturb Arjen in his talking, but I will type you the answer. So enjoy.
All right, here we go. Thank you very much for joining us here, everyone. And I want to spend the next 30 to 45 minutes talking about North Sulawesi in Indonesia and why we think it's such an amazing place and why we think that you should definitely come and visit us, as soon as you have the opportunity and as soon as borders are opening up again. But let's not focus too much on the coronavirus. It's bad enough as it is. Let's just enjoy this and go through some of the highlights that this area has on offer. North Sulawesi, if you've ever been to Bali, then that's the tourist hub of Indonesia. North Sulawesi is nothing like that, I can guarantee you. I will touch on that a little bit later. But yes, the province's nickname North Sulawesi is the land of smiling people. And that's a reputation doubly earned. So where is North Sulawesi? Well, it's the north of the island Sulawesi, which is right there in the middle of Indonesia, as indicated by the arrow. Indonesia is quite a large country. It's very diverse in terms of cultures and languages. It's the world's largest archipelago with over 17,000 islands. And yes, Sulawesi is just one of them. But obviously, it's one of the bigger ones. Now, if you zoom in a little bit, you can see North Sulawesi right there. Obviously, it's in the north, but it's also the name of the province. And it's not just the mainland of the peninsula, but it's also a couple of island groups that surround it. Now, it's easy to reach, or rather, it used to be easy to reach us, definitely during pre-COVID-19 times. Every day from Bali or Jakarta, flights would come in with Lion Air and Garuda, or 4 times a day with Singapore/Silk Air. And you can see here from the airplane, you can see Manado Tua, which is one of the dominating inactive volcanoes in Bunaken Marine Park. Then as you're flying in, you've landed and our driver is ready to pick you up from the airport. And here's another flyover. You can see our resort on the left by the arrow. If you squint carefully, you can see the jetty. And to the right side, you see some of the outer boroughs of Manado. It's not the Manado city yet, but it's a whole bunch of villages that have kind of grown together over the years. And yeah, so, you know, like I said, the driver picks you up, and then it's only 30 minutes drive through nice, very pleasant rolling green hills until you reach our front gate. We are located in a very small village called Molas, well outside of the hustle and bustle of the city. So it's very peaceful out here. And it's good to know that we are a 5-star PADI IDC dive resort. And we have also earned a Green Star Award from PADI as well for our education and community support initiatives. I will get into that later. And ironically enough, it's a bit with a bittersweet victory. We received TripAdvisor's Traveler's Choice Award for 2020. And I'm saying ironic or bittersweet because we didn't receive any guests since March. So it's kind of weird, but we are very happy with the recognition. And it also means that we are in the top 10% of TripAdvisor's hotels and resorts that they have on their website. So quickly looking at the map, you can see where we are on the bottom left. You see that bay with the little beige area. That's Manado City. And we are located just north of it, a couple of kilometers out. The small group of islands on the left is the Bunaken, or is the main islands that form Bunaken National Marine Park. And then up in the north, we have, well, actually, I'll get into that later. But first, let's look at our resort itself. So here we have a nice drone shot. And there you see Manado City in the background. The other side of Manado Bay, our jetty with our boats. Also sunset, it's almost the same time as right now here. The mangrove forests, 360 degrees, and back to our bungalows and cottages. So yeah, you can see how beautiful and green it is out here. We are quite literally in the jungle. And then here's a view from the boat when you come back from a dive or after a day of diving, and then you just climb back on the jetty and walk back to the resort. Here's a view from our Hilltop Rooms. So you see the views can be quite spectacular, and the hilltops are named for a very good reason. But first I want to show you a couple of other rooms. The highest in our price tier is our bungalows. This is a bit of an older picture, but the rooms have been renovated since then. And these are our biggest rooms. They're the most spacious. And you can see from the inside here, you know, we can offer space up to 4 people, starting with 1 if you so desire. And they come with all the comforts of home. As you can see, mosquito netting, air conditioning. They come with a fridge and minibar, private balcony, and quite comfortable bathrooms as well, with everything that you need for a very comfortable stay. And of course, plenty of storage space for your equipment. Then just going down 1 tier, this is my personal favorite. This is also the rooms where, obviously in an empty resort right now, where Simone and I are currently residing. And these are the cottages. They are built in a more traditional fashion, made of wood, and they are built on stilts. And as you can see from the inside, the interior is quite rustic. It's a little bit more traditional. But other than that, they come with exactly the same comforts as our bungalows, meaning fridge, minibar, air conditioning, walk-in, or no, sorry, not a walk-in, but a closet for all your gear. And then the bathroom is not too dissimilar, only in furnishings it's a little bit different. And all the rooms, by the way, come with hot water showers. Then finally we get to the Hilltop Rooms. These come in 2 separate categories: the standard hilltops that are pictured here from the outside, and the deluxe hilltops. The standard hilltop rooms are built in a duplex fashion, meaning that they are only separated by walls. So that means that if you are, you know, with your dive club or with a group of friends, it's a perfect place to kind of hang out together, and you can even do your own personal barbecue if you like. So it's perfect for that. And also, of course, for the slightly more budget-conscious traveler, they are ideal. And this is what it looks like from the inside. This is the Hilltop standard room. Again, air conditioning, a closet for your belongings, private bathroom. However, they do not come with a fridge. But the Hilltop Deluxe rooms, pictured here, as you can see, quite bigger as well. These do come with a fridge. So, you know, you can choose and pick which ones you like. And then leaving the rooms behind, I want to take you to the rest of the resort and show you the pool and the terrace. Some guests hanging out in pre-COVID-19 days. So yeah, you can see it's a great place to relax. And yes, we spoke about this before we started. Our fantastic sunsets are absolutely free, and that's because the resort faces mostly to the west. So it's almost guaranteed that you can have some very nicely colored sunsets. And if you're sitting there in that nice little pergola, it's great to hang out and just gaze out into the horizon. It's very peaceful. Now, another big thing that we kind of pride ourselves on is our kitchen. Our chefs, two of them actually have won multiple awards during culinary and cultural festivals in the city. So they really know what they're doing. And what you can see here is somebody is preparing, mashing together chilies and onions and salt and some lime and some more ingredients to make what's known as dabu dabu, which is the Manadonese salsa. It's very tangy, very spicy, and oh so delicious. I can recommend it. If you want to try cooking yourself, that's also possible. We offer some cooking classes where the chef will, you will make a plan together with him or her, and then the both of you will be driven to the morning market very early in the morning, and then you buy up some fresh ingredients, and then it's time to cook. And the fun thing is you get to cook for all the guests. So we always ask our cooking class students to tell all the other guests what they've cooked, and it's a lot of fun. And on top of that, as a bonus, you get a nice embroidered apron as a souvenir to bring home with you. Once a week, we traditionally on Tuesdays, we offer pizza night. And of course, I'm biased, but I really think it's true. Our pizzas are the best pizzas in Manado, if not in the entirety of North Sulawesi, because the only other offerings really that you can have here is Pizza Hut. And that is not our style, no. Our chef Arnold, pictured here, Mr. Smiley Face, has done a lot of research to make sure that the pizza dough is exactly the way that the Italians like it. So it's a thin crust pizza, very crunchy, and of course it comes with any ingredients that you would like on your pizza, from Hawaiian or bolognese or even carbonara. We can make it for you. And if you like, you can even make your own pizza. So yeah, that happens on Tuesday nights, and it's quite nice to hang out at the pizza bar with a cold beer and a pizza, and then talk with the guests. It's one of my favorite nights during normal operating hours. And then on Saturdays, we have Indonesian barbecue. And that means we fire up the grill. We put satay on it, of course. That can be chicken, that can be pork, that can be beef, whatever you like. Some fish as well. And if you're a vegetarian, we also always have vegetarian options. And that just doesn't go for the Indonesian barbecue, but for all of our meals. And we always ask beforehand when guests are checking in if you have any allergies, and then our kitchen will take that into account as well, because we don't want you to get sick. And then here's a fantastic display made by one of our chefs. This is the fruit festival, where we buy a lot of fruit, seasonal fruits. And as you can see here, pictured here, are 9 different mangoes, 12 different bananas, no less. And that is because each banana is of a very specific species, and different bananas are used for different styles of cooking. So for example, for the pisang goreng, the fried banana, we use one style of banana, and for some other dessert, we use a different style of banana. So and I can promise you the fruit is very, very fresh, really delicious. And very sweet, most of the cases, definitely. And here we see some guests curiously and somewhat tentatively trying out fruits that they have never tried before. But then they take a first bite and then it's like, ooh, that's delicious. I want to try more. So, and you know, I've been traveling around Southeast Asia for a number of years, and everywhere I went, the papaya, for example, was always a bit bitter, had this weird aftertaste, and I always asked for some extra lime to put on top of it. But the papaya here in North Sulawesi, you don't need it. It's very sweet, really delicious. So that covers our resort here on the Manado side. And now we're going to take you all the way to the right side, or to the east rather, to the island of Lembeh. And that's where we have our second resort. We built it over the course of 2016-17, and we opened on the 1st of October 2017. So it's a bit of a younger resort, and it's also a bit smaller. And it was very strategically placed right in the middle of Lembeh to take you to all the cool, fantastic muck diving spots. But we will get into that. But first, let's take a short tour of the resort. And yeah, this is kind of what it looks like after you arrive and you look out over this small cove. It's very romantic. It's very green, very lush. And it is truly a secret paradise because unlike the Manado side, you know, there's a big city nearby that you can always get to. You have all of the comforts of home as well. Here, it's a lot more secluded because on Lembeh, there's nothing but villages. There's absolutely nothing here. You can't just pop into a supermarket and you can't just go to the ATM to pick up some money. That's not here. So that gives you a picture of how secluded you can be here. And yeah, if you like peace and quiet, of course, it's perfect. And you can enjoy the peace and quiet from the very comfy balcony of your sea view bungalow, of which we have 9 here on the Lembeh, Thalassa Lembeh Resort. And just like all the other bungalows here in Manado, they come with exactly the same amenities, you know, fridge, minibar, mosquito netting, and air conditioning. And all of the rooms come with a sea view as well. And the bathrooms, as you can see, very neat, very tidy, super nice. And also this resort has a bit more of a boutique feel to it, a bit more beachy vibe, if you will. And it's also a bit more intimate. And besides the 9 bungalows that house only 2 people in a twin or double bed configuration, we have 3 single deluxe rooms. And they basically are more or less the same as the bungalows, except that they're a tiny bit smaller. But yeah, the bathroom is more or less the same. You also get a walk-in closet for your stuff, and there's air conditioning and a fridge and a mosquito netting as well. And of course, all the other, you know, fairly obvious stuff like a water heater, etc., etc. But it's very nice. And just like the Hilltop Rooms, the single deluxe rooms are built next to each other, so they're adjacent, separated by walls. And that means that you share the front patio with the other 2 guests. So again, if, for example, there's 3 single travelers, well, perfect. Then you have a whole balcony for yourselves. And then a view of the pool and terrace, very nice, especially if you come back after a hard day's diving, muck diving, then you just jump into the pool and you order a drink, and then you just watch the sun set slowly. It's very, very relaxing. And then our restaurant, this is our main restaurant. We have a second one, but this one is our main one. This is where breakfast and most dinners will be served, as well as lunch. And this restaurant is called Santai, and Santai is Indonesian, and it means relax. Well, it couldn't be a better name. It is very, very relaxing indeed. And just like all the food that I described in Manado, we basically offer the same. We also have pizza night traditionally, as well as Indonesian barbecue night. And yeah, the dishes are equally delicious as well. And here's a quick shot of our dive center where you see Nico and Irfan. Nico is rinsing off some gear. Irfan is filling tanks. And the dive center offers both normal air as well as nitrox. Now, just a second, let me just get some water. Oh, that's good. Now, just going back to the Manado side, You can see the difference between this slide. It just says dive center, and then this slide here in Manado. The big difference, obviously, is that we have a 5-star PADI IDC dive center. And the reason for that is we have Simone, who is a course director, and we don't have any instructors on the Lembeh side. So it's very important to understand that difference. But because we have this 5-star PADI dive center, we're able to teach you anything from bubble maker to snorkeler to open water, advanced, rescue diver, all the way up to dive master and instructor. And one by one, all of our instructors had nothing but rave reviews about, about Simone's teaching style, which goes very deep into the material, because Simone will not teach you just to teach you, but she really wants you to understand why something happens when it happens, and why the physics of certain theory work the way that they work. So she's very good at that. And that's why she has certified, I don't know how many instructors over the years. So you're in good hands. The same goes for our diving operation itself. We like to offer flexible diving schedules. That means if one group of guests, for example, want to do a bit more muck diving, then we'd like to find a way to put them together on a boat. And if the other group wants to do more of a wall dive, then they will go on another boat. Of course, that all depends on how busy it is at the resort. But we try to accommodate all the guests as much as possible, as best as possible as well. And we always communicate with everybody to make sure that everyone's happy and that everybody can go to the places that they want to go to on any given day. Now, our dive boats are also quite comfortable. They all come with sunroofs. All of them have oxygen on board, just in case. You never know. And medical kits. And we have very nice diving tank tables where you can stow your tank. And in pre-COVID times, I have to stress that we could handle a maximum of 12 guests on the bigger boat, pictured here on the left. And on the smaller boat in the middle, we could have a maximum between 8 or 10 divers. But now, of course, the situation will be a little bit different, but we will have to see how it goes. We have a maximum of 4 dive guides. 4 divers per guide, and that allows you to really just enjoy, take it slow. You don't have to rush. We don't like to do what do you call it, conveyor belt diving. We don't do that. We want you to really enjoy and take it in. It's your holiday after all. And if you're very keen on photography or videography like Julian, it's also possible to hire a private guide, for example, and then you can really take your time. And our guides are very experienced with that as well. And if you want to hang out by one spot for 1 hour just to take that perfect shot, the guys will just stay with you. It's no problem. Also, in both resorts, we have fully equipped camera rooms. They're more or less the same, with plenty of sockets to recharge your gear, and they are all air-conditioned. Just a note, it's perfectly fine and safe to leave your camera equipment in the room. I can completely understand if you feel more comfortable putting it in your room. I'm just putting it out there because at night, these rooms are locked. And we also have security at night as well. So both of our resorts are very safe. I can assure you that. Then here's a shot of our diving team. These guys, they know what they're doing. They're very professional. Some of them are instructor. Most of them will be dive master. And they are very knowledgeable about the area as well. They've got a keen sense of the tides, of the currents, etc., etc. And even if you're a very trained diver yourself, I can promise you they can show you stuff that you will miss. And they have such keen eyes. If it's not something tiny living on a piece of coral, they can point you to a shark, probably just appearing off in the deep blue. So they really know what they're doing. Another thing I have to say is that we like to prep and carry your equipment. And that means that when you arrive at the resort, all your diving equipment will go in a crate. You write your name on it. And then the following morning, when you're ready to do your first dive, all you need to do is just jump on the boat or just walk, be careful. And you will find your equipment already assembled for you. If you prefer to assemble your equipment yourself, then let us know, and then they will leave it alone for you to assemble. And then before we leave, all you need to do is double check to make sure that you have everything, that your tank is full, that everything is in good order, that all your equipment is complete, and then you're off, and then your diving can begin. And then when you arrive at the dive site, the guys will give you a detailed briefing about the site, about what you can expect, how deep you can go, reminding you of the hand signals, and just a couple of precautionary measures just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. So that makes us, in my opinion at least, a little bit different. We like to swim against the current, obviously not literally, but yeah, we like to do things a little bit different to make your diving holiday quite enjoyable and just, yeah, relaxing as it should be, just like this little fish here. So that's our resorts and the diving. I will now go quickly take you through the diving areas, as well as what you can do on the mainland if you don't feel like diving. Who knows, it might be possible because there's a lot to offer. So we are here, and our other resort is here. You can see Manado City clearly indicated. And then here we have the Bunaken Marine Park. I quickly touched on that already. And the South Mainland actually kind of comprises the Bunaken Marine Park as well. So it's a fairly big area. And here in the north, we have the Bangka Archipelago, where you can do some beautiful drift dives among the coral pinnacles. You can see some really big frogfish there, for example. Lots of schools of fish come together there. Reef sharks, you name it. A lot of stuff can be found there. I've seen a lot of squid, for example. So it's a beautiful place to visit. And that's a 3-dive trip. It's a full day trip because it takes a bit longer to get you there. It takes approximately 90 minutes for our boat to make it there. But I can promise you it's definitely worth it. You would love that. And then, of course, on the other side, on the east, right next to the doorstep of our resort on Lembeh, we have the Lembes Strait, famous for its muck diving. So Julian, if you're interested in that, I will tell you all about that. And then on the mainland, we have the Koko Jungle Reserve. I will talk to you about that. It's a very nice jungle hike. And then also another tour that we offer is the Minahasa Highlands. And it's a very culturally rich and beautiful landscapes that you can enjoy there. So the Bunaken Marine Park, here you see it from above. Shortly, we will see it from below. Here you see Manado Tua, which is the characteristic inactive volcano that kind of dominates this part of the sea. And next to it, you see Bunaken Island, famous for its turtles and walls. And then here you see Mantehage, which is a bit of a very low, flat mangrove kind of place. And then right here, just off to the right of the screen, you see the island of Siladen. It's a very tiny island. But all of these places are definitely worth diving. But most of our dives will center around the island of Bunaken simply because there's so much on offer. And yes, the pictures speak for themselves. Soft corals, hard corals, table corals, just kaleidoscopic colors. It's really stunning. And you will be surrounded by so many creatures. It's quite amazing. So the first descent is always, even for me, I've done 150 plus dives here. Even for me, it's still exciting. Just that first descent, it's exhilarating to say the least. Of course, when you say Bunaken, you have to mention turtles. The most common species here is the bigger green turtle, and another turtle that you can find here is the smaller hawksbill with its characteristic beak. And besides turtles, you will be surrounded by many schools of different fish, reef fish such as the damselfish, red-toothed triggerfish, glass eye, some schools of barracuda if you're lucky, definitely a lot of snappers, a lot of trevallies you can see here, some jackfish, and a lot more. You will be swimming in a very busy aquarium, I can guarantee you. Now, besides the schooling fish, of course, there's also the quintessential Indo-Pacific clownfish that you can find here in all their varieties, all the different families that live in different varieties of anemones. But yeah, quite photogenic. A lot of cephalopods, different octopi, different squid, different cuttlefish, such as the wonderpuss, the broad club cuttlefish, for example. You can see on the top left here, you can see the flamboyant cuttlefish, coconut octopus, common octopus. On the bottom right, you see the blue ringed octopus, very tiny, very deadly because of its high toxicity. Its venom is very dangerous. It's one of the most deadly creatures in the animal kingdom in that regard. But yeah, obviously we don't touch. And on the bottom left, you see the mimic octopus, which at first glance can look like a flounder, for example. And but yeah, beautiful creatures. Also a lot of crabs you can find here, such as candy crab, porcelain crab, lots of different boxer crabs, for example. Eels are here in abundance as well. The ribbon eels that change, on the top left, they change sex over time as they get older. We've got the moray eel, of course, that you can find at cleaning stations and hanging out in their hidey holes, kind of, yeah, waiting for prey to pass by. Garden eels, snake eels, all kinds of different eels. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of the stuff that you can find here. The Lembes Strait is no less diverse. Of course, it's famous for its muck diving, and then the stuff that you can find here, of course, are you know, frogfish, scorpion fish, stonefish, leaf fish, wasp leaf fish. It's too many to mention. And if you've never dived, if you've never done muck diving, and you descend for the first time, you know, you might be wondering, okay, what is this? Why are we staring at some flat sandy bottom? This looks boring. Why are we here? And then a couple of minutes later, the guide will call you over to draw your attention to something, and then suddenly you see a tiny 3mm frogfish just kind of hanging out, or a robust ghost pipefish or something like that, you know. And super well camouflaged, really strange creatures, all kinds of blennies and gobies. You can't forget the flying gurnard pictured top left here. There's so many fascinating tiny little creatures to be found here. And yeah, if you mention the Lembes Strait, you have to mention the nudibranchs in all their colors and varieties. It's so varied. And I always like it when guests come back from a dive and I ask them, hey, so how was it? And then they show me their picture. Yeah, I saw this. What is this? I saw this nudibranch. What am I looking at? And then we break out the nudibranch book, and then we try to find it. We try to ID it. And that's always a lot of fun. And we ID it positively, and then they scribble it down in their logbooks. And it's, for me personally, it's a lot of fun to see people be so engaged with the stuff that they've seen. And yeah, you know, the seahorse family, the pipefishes, trumpetfish, the Lembeh sea dragon, for example, the ghost pipefish, the robust ghost pipefish, the common seahorse, the spiny seahorse, the pygmy seahorse, they're all here. It's absolutely fantastic. And some of them can be so tiny. If it weren't for our guides, you would miss them, for sure. I'm quite sure you would miss them. And then, again, a lot of crustaceans, different types of shrimp, such as the harlequin shrimp, pictured top right here. The mantis shrimp, responsible for one of the fastest movements in the animal kingdom. Here you can see it clutching its brood of eggs. Carrying crabs, swimming crabs, decorated crabs. It's just amazing. And then in terms of shrimp, on the top left, you see a creature that is called the Donald duck shrimp. That's literally its official name. I'm not kidding you. And then, of course, the beautiful, beautiful emperor shrimp on the bottom left. So there's a lot of stuff to be seen here. The orangutan crab, the squat lobster, the zebra crab, and I call these guys the pom-pom crab, but they're some kind of a waving crab. And yeah, they're also a kind of carrion crab, actually. So there's a lot of stuff to be found underwater in the Lembes Strait. I can really guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Then that's it about the diving. let's focus on some other stuff that you can do besides diving, because the Minahasa region in North Sulawesi is beautiful out here. And the Minahasa, I have to explain, the Minahasa is more than just a region. It's the name of the ethnic identity of the people here. So besides an area, it's also the name of the ethnicity, the Minahasa people. So just, yeah, so you know. And the Manadonese, as the collective of North Sulawesi people are called as well, to make it a little bit extra confusing. But the people here are multi-religious, very friendly. You will find that they really earned the name of the land of the smiling people here. 2/3 of the people here are of Christian. They practice Christianity, mostly Protestantism. 1/3 is Islam. And then you have some smaller sub-percentages that are Buddhist or Hindu or animism even, and Catholicism, and people get along just fine. You know, people have no problems coexisting peacefully, and it's an inspiration to the rest of the world. I'm sure you will agree with me, because if it's Christmas, you know, the Muslims will help out cooking or whatever, and vice versa. When it's Eid al-Fitr, you know, the Muslim celebration, then the Christians will help out. There's a lot of mixed schools. There's a lot of Christian, a lot of Islam schools as well. But, you know, it doesn't matter. People are just getting along fine. And it's very refreshing to see that. And everywhere you go, everywhere you go, you will see people just saying hi to you in the streets. It's very refreshing, very warm and welcoming. You will find that when you come here. Now, of course, being in the Ring of Fire, we are in a volcanic landscape. That's just what it is. And this is Mount Lokon. You can actually climb it, and then the top of it looks like something like this. This is the crater, and yeah, you can enjoy some spectacular views from there. There are a lot more very nice viewpoints where you can see the views, but this is just one of them. And yeah, the mud will be bubbling in the bottom, and I can definitely recommend you try and climb a volcano yourself. It's really cool. And then this is part of our Highland tour, obviously. We can take you past some hot water springs. We can take you past Lake Lino, which is a volcanic lake. It's a sulfur lake, and it also changes color every now and then. And being sulfur, you can see some of the steam coming up surrounding the lake. So it's quite cool to see. And it's a little bit stinky, but there's a nice cafe as well where you can enjoy a coffee and just relax and enjoy the view. The same is true for Tondano Lake. Although it's not a volcanic lake, it's just your standard freshwater lake, but it's definitely a very nice place to relax and have lunch at, for example. They have these restaurants that they built on the waterside on stilts on these platforms. So it's just ideal to just enjoy and just spend an hour, having some delicious food, maybe a beer or maybe something else. And yeah, just relax. And then you will notice that as you're driving around the landscape here, you will notice there's a lot of agriculture, such as rice, obviously, but also corn, pumpkins are being cultivated here, and some other veggies. But there's also there's a town in the highlands called Tomohon. It's known as the City of Flowers, and it's earned that reputation because there's also a lot of horticulture. So people will cultivate houseplants, for example, and flowers, and then they will try to sell that because people love gardening here in this part of North Sulawesi. So yeah, you will see a lot of cool houses with very nice gardens as you're driving through this area. It's very nice to drive around, and it's also a little bit cooler. So make sure you bring a sweater. And then the traditional markets that you can visit here as well are quite nice and busy. People are selling their wares. People are calling out to you, "Hello, mister. Hi, can I take a picture?" And then, well, not in so many words, but that's the gist of it. And people, yeah, once again, nobody will try to sell anything. Nobody will hassle you. If you don't want to bother, then they will stop bothering immediately as well. So people are really cool with that, and that's what I like about it. And that's because tourism hasn't really set foot here yet. And I guess that's a good thing, but yeah, obviously in these times it's a little bit more difficult. And make sure you bring your camera when you're here, because yeah, you can see for yourself the fresh veggies and spices make for really interesting shots. It's and people sell so many different spices. It's incredible. Another stop on our tour is this village where they build Minahasa style houses made of wood. They are made to order to your specifications, and then they build it in this beautiful wood carved style. And yeah, after that, when they're finished, you inspect the house. If everything is okay, if it's just exactly as you want it, then they deconstruct it. They break it down again. Then they flat pack it and then ship it off to anywhere in Indonesia. So if you want to buy a house, I can recommend you do it here. You can also visit waterfalls, very refreshing, of course, but make sure you you pack your devices in what is it, a dry bag, your camera as well, because the air is really very damp. But it's definitely worth checking it out and just jumping in for a refreshing and cooling dip. And another highlight here is the Minahasa sarcophagus, known as the Varuga. This is where it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and this is where people, the Minahasa, would bury their dead in up until the 18th century. And they would bury their dead sitting upright with their knees tucked in, and all of the graves, if you will, because that's what they would be facing north, because the Minahasa people believed that their ancestors came from the north. And it's yeah, it's a beautiful site, and definitely bring your camera. It's got a bit of a mysterious aura to it, like you know, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's kind of comparable to that, but then a bit smaller and made of stone, and quite beautiful carvings, quite nice. And then another highlight of our land tours that you can do is the Koko Wildlife Reserve, or Jungle Reserve. It's a big patch of North Sulawesi. It's protected, meaning no deforestation, which is good. And this is where you can meet these guys, the black-crested macaques. They are endemic to Sulawesi. You won't find them anywhere else, with their characteristic deep amber brown eyes and their tuft of hair on the top of their heads. And yeah, they're very they're a little bit shy, and I like that, because unlike some monkeys elsewhere, for example Bali, they will try to steal your wallet and your sunglasses or your phone, and then ask for food in exchange. These guys don't do that, so there's a very healthy distance, and it's always very dramatic when you hear them screaming up in the treetops. But sometimes they if you're lucky, they can come and pose for a picture if they're on the ground. And another highlight is this guy, the tarsier, which is the smallest, the world's smallest primate. And this species in particular, I forgot the name, but is also endemic to Sulawesi. And that's why you do this trip. You start after lunch, so that you can start seeing this nocturnal animal become active. And yeah, they're quite cute, as you can see.
Arjen,
and then of course
can I
yeah,
interrupt you for a second?
Then I'll have some water.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I know for a fact that that Arjen is doing a terrific job. And to be honest, this is the highest number of people that we have seen on the presentations now. So news is spreading. Thank you very much from my side for watching. I have to leave you because I have a PADI webinar to teach in about 15 minutes. So I have to go online on another channel. So enjoy the rest of the show, and drop us any question or remark that you have, and we will be happy to get back to you. Thanks very much, and bye-bye.
Thanks, Simone. Good luck later.
Yep.
All right. So, ladies and gents, I will just continue the presentation here with you guys. please keep typing in the chat. I will follow up with you. I'm running my presentation full screen, so I cannot see the chat. That was Simone's job. So for everyone who just joined us, welcome. I will just continue. And yeah, I just covered the Koko Jungle Reserve. And I can also definitely recommend you check out the local village life here in North Sulawesi, because the people here, like I said before, many, many times, are very friendly, and they're always happy to see a stranger in their village. It can be quite rural, as you can see. This is still common practice, these ox carts. People use this to transport, for example, a coconut harvest and drop it off somewhere else. But on the other hand, it can also be exciting. So I took this shot myself, quite happy with this, and we were lucky to see this. This happens once a year, I think, somewhere in the area between Manado and Lembeh, next to the road. So we stopped the car and we watched, and I managed to snap this shot. But yes, you know, one could argue it's animal suffering, but yes, it's also, you know, it's part of the culture. And then speaking of village life, another big part of the village life here is the Achara, which is Indonesian for a gathering. And central to every gathering, whether it's a wedding or a birthday or a religious gathering, food is always central to that. Because what will happen at a wedding, you know, the priest will come out, because most of it is Christian, of course. The priest or the reverend will come out, and he will have a monologue. He will start a monologue first, and then everyone's patiently listening, and then finally it's time to eat, and then everybody starts digging in, and the food, of course, is delicious as well. And so that makes the food is a huge determining factor of whether your achara is a success, yes or not, because everybody is always asking, hey, did you go to such and such's wedding? Yeah. How was the food? That's the first thing that people ask. So it's very funny. And if you ever get invited by somebody to join to a wedding, for example, or a birthday party, say yes. Do it. I can recommend it. I've done it myself, and you will have an evening of you will have a ball of a time. It's very funny. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, as you can see from this fine gentleman sleeping here, it's a culture of eating, drinking, dancing, and sleeping. Of course, not only people also work, but whenever there is an achara, I can heartily recommend you you go if you get the chance, and yeah, just mix it up with the locals. It's a lot of fun. And for those who don't like karaoke, after a few drinks, just like me, you will like karaoke. And another big part of life here, of course, because it's an island life, it's an oceanic life, if you will. Fishing is a big part of people's basic income, and that's the reality. But naturally, the National Marine Park has been zoned off very well, very clearly, so all the fishermen know exactly where to go and where not to go, most importantly, so that you can enjoy all the natural wonders that the park has to offer. So with all that said, you know, I'm quite sure you will feel right at home in no time. And I certainly did when I moved in here 4 years ago. It's a fantastic place, and I can wholeheartedly recommend it to visit. Now, I promise I will get to the chat later. I will catch up with everyone, so please bear with me. I'm almost at the end of my presentation, and thank you for sticking through. And once I'm done here, I will answer each and every one of you. This is another big thing that makes us very different from other places, and that is we do a lot to push education and community support. We like to what we call give back to the community. Here you see a nice group of young kids, all teenagers with snorkeling gear, and they are part of a class of a school that we built, that Simone built rather, together with the help of volunteers and donations, and last but not least, a foundation in the Netherlands. They helped build a school. Simone and our company sponsors that school in no small part. And the school, of course, it's a vocational high school, so that means that there is also government mandated curriculum, meaning, you know, they get all the standard classes that you would find in high school. But on top of that, we teach them how to swim. We teach them we teach them open water diver, advanced, rescue, and then if they're particularly keen and interested, all the way up to dive master and instructor. And that means that we can provide them with job opportunities. It means that they can work in diving tourism. And for those that don't want to work in diving tourism, there's also a hotel school in the school. So, you know, they can work. And we've had the chance, we had the pleasure of giving these kids jobs all over Indonesia. Of course, the situation is different now, but we continue to push that and we continue to teach them. And up until last week, Simone was still teaching a class, doing theory on open water divers. So it's very nice to see that. And a big part of this is that we really push for environmental awareness. So, you know, here's, for example, a group of kids who have just finished a finathon to raise money to together with Shark Guardian, our friends at Shark Guardian, who raise awareness and you know, promote education about sharks. 100 million of which are killed each year. And this was a finathon to end shark finning, for example. And we get these kids involved in these initiatives, and it, you know, it keeps them thinking about their natural environment as well, such as, you know, beach cleanups. We organize those on a semi-regular basis as well. Sometimes volunteers or guests will join us as well. And we always tell these kids in our classes, you know, don't buy water in a plastic bottle. Use one of these, or and tell your friends and tell your family, your parents, your siblings, tell everyone to stop using plastic as much as possible, because it's so important that you are the ambassadors to your natural environment. You know, this jungle that you're living in, it's not just a place where stuff disappears when you throw it away. You need to take care of this place so that, you know, Indonesia's one of Indonesia's highest income tourism can keep going. It's very important. So we really try to push that into these kids' heads. And here's another fun one. These are the zombie dancers, and they dress themselves up with trash from one of our beach cleanups, and they make themselves up as trash zombies, and then they will do dance performances, you know, pre-COVID, obviously, for our guests. And but also sometimes they would do these performances in the mall if there's like an environmental awareness campaign going on, or there was some kind of tourism event. Then the trash zombies would dance to Michael Jackson's Thriller, for example. And they're really good. They're very good. And sometimes, as you can see here, the guests would also join in the fun. So yeah, a lot of fun. We like to keep it fun as well. It shouldn't be just preachy environmental, but also fun. We never forget about that. So yes, that makes us quite different, and that makes us more of a family than just a company. And our slogan, where guests leave as friends, we have multiple times proven that this is actually true. And that's why many people always come back each and every year just to be with us and our crazy bunch of people. And besides that, if you've never been with us, we love to prove all of that to you and make you happy. And so yeah, I'm curious about you. Simone is as well, so let's get to know each other a little bit. And if you want to find out a bit more, you can visit our website at thalassamanado.com, or follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Thalassa Dive Resorts. But for now, sampai bertemu lagi. We hope to see you soon. And that ends my presentation. So I will now leave full screen. So hello, everyone. Hi, I see a few people that I haven't seen yet. Hi, Jeremy. I guess you're still with us. And Catherine says, Kathleen, okay, I'm just trying to find the point where Simone left us. Please don't be shy, everyone. If you have any questions, do drop by here, share your audio and video. I want to meet you. I want to talk to you. If you have any questions, you want to do that face-to-face, that's perfectly possible as well. Very pretty. Well, I'm guessing, Kathleen, you're talking about the underwater life. But the people here are quite handsome as well. Catherine Husner, hi Catherine. Let's see, if you have any questions, let me know. Oh, Kathleen, yeah, muck diving, it's amazing. It's you know, I love all kinds of diving, but for me, muck diving is my favorite, and I like it for two reasons. Indeed, it's like treasure hunting, and it's it's also because you never know really what you can expect with every muck dive, and also it teaches, it forces you to be a bit more aware of your body and the position of your fins. So I like to keep my knees at a 90-degree angle so that I don't kick up any sand or poor tiny creatures, for example. So it teaches you to dive very mindfully, if you will. Let's see what else we got. Stephen, yes, we do feel like friends already. Thank you for the compliment. Hello, Richard. How are you? Julian, you're very welcome. Catherine, to answer your question, Julian, I've been here for 4 years now, and Simone has been here for way longer than that. She's been here since 1995, 96, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a very 25 years, if not something like that. So it's, yes, I'm living here. And so life has changed drastically for us ever since the coronavirus outbreak. But yeah, we're keeping good spirits. We're doing our best to do these kinds of things. And if you follow us on Facebook, you can follow our live streams, which is a big thing that we prepare every week. It's also a very good distraction. So we stream live every Saturday, 3 o'clock our local time. So yeah, do check that out if you want. And sometimes we have an expert in our that we interview, somebody who knows their stuff about underwater life. Or sometimes we go diving, we record it, and then we stream that dive to our loyal viewers. So I can definitely recommend, if you missed the diving so much, come and check that out, and we're happy to have you. Do you have any questions, ladies and gents? And don't be shy. Please do come out. I want to see your faces. Otherwise, I'm just staring at myself. That's no fun. I see myself in the mirror every day when I'm brushing my teeth. How about underwater life? Julian, did you miss that in my presentation? I'm trying to understand what your question is. So please let me know. And again, I encourage you, please do join me here. I'm more than welcome to, more than happy to talk face to face with you. It's more fun. Oh, okay, no problem. Gotcha. So what about your question on the underwater life? So I guess you missed that in the presentation, right? Because you had to take care of your baby. Okay, so the Bunaken National Marine Park is mostly famous for its wall dives and sea turtles, large schools of fish, a lot of healthy coral, a lot of colors, etc., etc. It's kind of like the tropical ideal of underwater of scuba diving here. And on the east coast of North Sulawesi, where we have our second resort in the Lembes Strait. That's more muck diving. So that's diving on the volcanic black sand, where you can hunt for very strange and interesting little critters. So we try to offer two types of diving that way in this area. And of course, it's very easy and convenient to just split your trip between the two resorts. And many people do that. And yeah, that way you get to experience the full spectrum of underwater life here. And after this, if you're done here, please do let us know in our booth. Go to the expo to your left, click our booth, find Thalassa, click that. And if you want to know more, we're currently collecting some email addresses. Leave your email address behind by registering interest. There's a button there, and Scuba.Digital will pass on your email address to us, and we will send out a mail to each and every one of you. And I promise we will not automatically sign you up for any mailing list or whatsoever. It's just to continue the conversation. And if you have any questions, that you forget to ask here, you can do that via email as well. You're very welcome. And please, don't forget to ask me for the presentation. I'm happy to share it with you. Then you can kind of go over it yourselves. Does anybody have any other question for me? Let me know. The floor is open. Catherine, take care. Thanks for joining. See you later. Best of luck for tonight, I guess, if you're still doing something. All right, ladies and gents, do you have anything to add or to ask? Please let me know. Okay, great. It was a good show, huh? Take care. Wow, only 2 more hours and then the show is over. Jeremy, Julian, hi Debbie. So I guess if nobody has any other questions, then I guess that's the end of it. I want to thank everyone, and do take care, and see everyone later. Goodbye. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye. See you. Bye, Julian. Bye-bye.